Hey everybody, welcome to Real with Rachel in nature. If you haven't been here before, if this is your first time, or if you have been here before but you just don't have me in your subscription feed, go ahead and subscribe now so that you keep getting these tips. We are at the creek where I thought it would be very appropriate to talk about why science classes suck and what you can do about it. And the reason why we're at the creek is because this is one of the best places to learn about science. We have been here for a couple of hours now, and what I've noticed just with my kids and their play, first of all, play is the most effective way for kids to learn. And that's not something that can be evaluated by standardized tests, okay? I'm not a believer in tests. I don't think anybody is, but we're stuck doing them, you know? But anyway, so we are at the creek. And what I've noticed my kids doing through their play is they are getting experience learning about buoyancy, learning about gravity, learning about flow, learning about currents, learning about crawdads. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some crawdads here. So you are hitting every subject. You look at the rocks, you can see the different layers, history right there. Well, you know, the one with the rocks. I have a friend that does that. Geology. There we go. You're learning about biology. You're learning about physics. You're learning about everything you can fit into a regular science class, but the information sticks. I mean, even something as far-fetched as they're learning sociology. I have had to bring my daughter over here so she's not throwing rocks at people because we're all a part of society. Like, everything can be learned, and it doesn't have to be in a classroom. And so for me in my homeschool, I just made this decision today. I want to make this once a day. We're out in nature now. If it's hot, we go out in nature anyways. We have, safety precautions so we don't get heat exhaustion, but there's a big spectrum from uncomfortable to heat exhaustion, and as long as we're just paying attention, we can be safe. If it's too cold, we bundle up with the crock pot in the house so that when we come in after a long day playing outside, we can warm our bodies up. Like, we have the power as homeschoolers and as parents to take our kids' learning into our own hands. And so what I do while we're out here, not so much today because they were playing with kids, but usually when we're out here, I'll just drop little questions, such as like, why do the rocks over there not have green stuff on it? What is that green stuff? What does the green stuff feel like? Should we eat it? Probably not. Why are there more rocks with green stuff over here and not over there where the water is flowing more? Like, you can ask so many different questions, and kids might think you're annoying, but the more you do it, not overbearingly, the more that they'll start thinking, why is there stuff like this? What? And then they'll come up with their own questions. Why are the smaller rocks, like, they might not even be the right questions, but it gets them thinking. And that's something that's hard to do in the science class, because most of the time kids are thinking, how do I get the right answer? Who around me has got the right answer? And what if I don't get it right? See what I mean? Most importantly is you're modeling to them thinking. Don't be afraid to ask a question you don't have the answer to. Do you think scientists ask only the questions they have the answers to? No, they ask the questions, then they study and get the answers to it. And so never be afraid to ask a question you don't have the answer to, but just drop these little hints. It's like you're a shaman, like people take the ayahuasca and they have these experiences, but the shaman's there to ask the questions. Your kids are having an experience out here, and you're just here to kind of guide it, just not control it, not be upset when they don't hold on to a question. Just drop a question. If it held, whatever. If it didn't, so what? And then you can start getting interested in whatever you're doing, and it doesn't have to be with them, but they see that you asked a question, you investigated, and you were finding the own answers. And even then, if you don't find the answers, you ask a different question because you realize, oh, that question wasn't the right question to ask. That's a lot of times in life. Now, all of these things, granted, they could learn in a classroom, they could learn in a lab, they could learn in a science class, but they're doing it in such a way that they don't even know that they're learning, but they have the experience that they can't get any other way. They can't get that invested in a science lesson in a few minutes, that you have in the classroom. But if you have hours just to spend out here, kind of unstructured, but a little bit structured with the question, they're able to explore dive deep in their thinking, try different things without any worry of like, oh, I might not get the right answer on this lab sheet, you know. There's so many different enriching experiences they can have with this. And they get the kinesthetic aspect of it. You know, you have audio learners, seeing learners, and then you have kinetic learners, and they are using fine motor skills, they're using gross motor skills, they're climbing over rocks, they're grabbing the rocks, they're collecting the rocks to make dams, they're doing whatever it is that they can't do at a desk quietly, get your work done. Oh, I can't stress enough how much nature is its own teacher, how much humans need to be in nature, whether it's hot or cold, perfect, lukewarm, whatever. We need to be in nature, experience it, because that is where our brains thrive. Even if there's bugs, bring your bug spray. Even if there's sun, bring your sunscreen. Now, don't get me wrong, science teachers and curriculum is a wonderful thing. It really is. But nature always does things better. You know what I mean? Nature always does things better. So whether you're homeschooling and this is how you teach science, or this is how you check off science, or if you do have children in public school, but you just want to give them a more enriching experience, supplement with nature for real. Now, can coming outside and playing do everything for your science education? Hopefully not. Like, we're not out here playing with electricity. We're not doing the Benjamin Franklin iconic scene with the keys on the kite or whatever. But there's a time for labs where, like, for instance, when I was in college, I had to do a lab to know about the constriction and stuff, or like the mobility in materials when they get hot or cold. I can't really notice that in the nature. But there's a time for labs, and there's a time for just exploration, natural exploration. That's what I had for y'all today. I'm so excited to come to y'all in such a beautiful area because it's good for the soul. It's good for the soul. I hate that I had my phone to bring the technology into it, but otherwise I would be telling y'all about this in my kitchen where it's not as effective, okay? And so thank y'all for staying with me. Again, like, subscribe, do all the things that help you keep getting the knowledge and spreading your own tips down below on how you feel about science and how kids learn it. So thank y'all so much. I'll see you next time. Bye. Peace bomb. We got this.